Hey, what's up everyone? So yeah, welcome back to the first video. That's right, the first video of 2022. And trust me, I'm going to kick things off in an awesome way. I'm going to talk about the PlayStation VR2. But before we are going to do that, let me wish you all a happy new year. I hope you are going to have a great one. May all your dreams and all your goals come true. And fingers crossed, hopefully the world is going to heal itself so we can live in full freedom again and start picking up our lives. I'm sure a lot of you are looking forward to that. Time will tell when that happens, but for now, I do have some stuff that you can look forward to for sure, and that is that a new era of VR gaming is almost here. Listen up, the hype is definitely real. You have no idea. So, as you may know, nowadays all we talk about is Quest, Quest, and Quest. Fairly so, because the hardware is amazing, the price is insanely low, and it has the games. And if there is something that is key in the realm of VR, it's content. Content is key. Meta has been winning with the Quest for a long time now. It's the go-to headset for people who want to get into VR. Consumers seem to be drawn towards it because Meta has been investing loads of money into making new games, getting developers on board and stuff. So yes, compared to the other hardware manufacturers, they are on a winning streak for ages now, and they are competing with no one. They are completely dominating the market at this point, especially in the gaming department. But that's soon going to change because this year we are seeing someone step back into the ring, and that is Sony. Sony is back, and this time with the PlayStation VR2. They have been working on tech that is truly next level and blows everything out of the water that we have seen so far, including their own PSVR headset that launched back in 2016. So let's get into it, shall we? At CES this year, Sony announced their next generation VR system. We finally got to see the specs on paper. We knew they were working on it, they have been teasing us for a long time, but we got some details now. So they officially said that PlayStation VR2 will be the overarching name for their next-gen lineup of VR hardware, and that it will have the latest tech on board, including new sensory features, enhanced controller tracking, and upgraded visual fidelity. They even said that it has freaking eye tracking. I just couldn't believe my eyeballs.
You'll be able to interact more intuitively as your character, while allowing for improved social expression.
I was honestly surprised by this because I never thought that eye tracking would arrive this early for consumers, but here we are. Welcome to the future. We have yet to see what the headset itself will look like, by the way. So far we have only seen the so-called Sense controllers, and know that they let you experience haptic feedback and have adaptive triggers, so you can literally feel what you have in your hands and what happens in the world around you. Having used the PlayStation 5 controllers on a flat screen, I can tell you that it's an experience that is out of this world. It brings so many more layers, more dimensions to a game that weren't there before. So imagine that in combination with VR. That's going to be mind-blowing. There has also been a concept video floating around that was made by a channel under the name VR4Player. That gives an idea of how futuristic the PSVR2 headset could be in terms of design and features. It's very important to know that this is fan-made and does not represent the real product in any shape or form. It is fun to watch, but I do see some people use it in misleading ways. So yeah, just don't believe that this is going to be it. I do think that the headset will be significantly smaller and lighter than its predecessor, with better comfort and buttons that let you adjust things easily. So yeah, it's going to be 10 times better than the PlayStation VR1, but that's not hard with something that launched back in 2016 with Move controllers and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be impressed anyways. Last but not least, we got a glimpse of the very first PSVR2 game ever. Now we're talking. Sony knows that their famous IPs are a very effective way of getting gamers interested in their new VR system, and so they did with Horizon: Call of the Mountain. Play the clip. Enjoy.
There.
What's that Tom acting?
doing?
It's heading towards Storm's grasp.
It's headed towards us!
I know, they didn't show much, but based on the gameplay, we can say that the graphics look absolutely stunning. And the fact that you just see Horizon in VR is just something that... wow, I mean, I wanna try it. That's all I thought. I wanted to, you know, step into VR and just, you know, be immersed in this world. Funny enough, we didn't see the controllers being used, but maybe they kind of want to hold that back for another surprise. Or this is more of a showcase than a game, in where you get to sit in this boat, look around, and immerse yourself in the world of Horizon to kind of get you used to the idea of VR and how cool it is and how thrilling it can be. Because then it makes sense to have a player sitting in a boat and not have them move around. But we could be totally wrong. It could also be an actual game where you get to step out of this boat, get to use a bow and arrow, get to, you know, ride one of those mechanical dinos and stuff. I don't know, we can only make wild guesses for now, but I can't wait to see more of this, and I can't wait to see the controllers being used as well. But the fact that PlayStation uses Horizon to promote VR is a great sign that makes me hungry for more. This must have been just a little taster, and I'm all for it. Actually, we do know for a fact that Sony wants to push the agenda of hybrid VR titles, trying to get every developer on board that makes games for PlayStation. They pretty much want them to build in VR support so that the PSVR2 players can, you know, easily access their Pancake titles by maybe the press of a single button. We don't know yet. Maybe you have to go to the menu and select VR and then bam, you're in there. But what I do know is that it's not going to be full VR, but more of a window into VR. But this is going to be big because it would significantly boost the headset's library and will bring more eyes to VR as you have all these AAA franchises suddenly coming to virtual reality. I also think it's good for not only the pace of how much is coming out on a VR system like the PSVR2, because there will always be something to play, but it's also creating an extra revenue source for developers who weren't necessarily so keen on creating a dedicated VR experience, but instead they can now just add some VR support and still make money too. So this is a win-win for everyone on the platform. So I see this as a super duper positive move from Sony. Another thing that I do see happen very soon is that Half-Life Alyx will be announced as a game that is coming to the PSVR2, because this title was made to be played with those Sense controllers and on a headset that has all these haptics built inside. We know for a fact that Valve is very supportive of an open ecosystem, so I wouldn't be surprised they are already working on this behind the scenes. But this has not been confirmed, so we have to just wait and see. But it's going to be so much fun to dive back into City 17 on the PlayStation VR 2. Something else that has left us unanswered is, will the PlayStation VR 2 be backwards compatible? There are so many amazing titles from the first gen PlayStation VR that people have to check out, that they have to rediscover. I'm hoping that they are going to do this. Looking at the history of Sony, I do have high hopes that they are going to make something happen. I myself would love to play Iron Man VR again, Astrobot Rescue Mission, and of course Blood and Truth. Oh man, that game is so cool. I think the upcoming audience for PSVR 2 has never heard or played these games before, so it would be smart to give them a second life. Let me know what games you would like to see come to the PlayStation VR 2. Mine would be... let me look around. Yeah, I'm not so sure yet. I'll think about it. So let's talk about specs, because the specs are very impressive. What we can expect from the PSVR 2 in the visual fidelity department is that it will use a OLED display being 4K HDR with a resolution of 2000 by 2040 pixels per eye, and will achieve frame rates that go from 90 to 120 Hz. It lets you experience a field of view of 110 degrees, and yes, that's right, can do foveated rendering. This is the first time we get to see this being used in a consumer-focused headset, but not surprising as Sony looks at the PlayStation VR2 as long-term hardware. So making it future-proof is no forbidden luxury. The easiest way I can explain foveated rendering is that it basically means that the headset uses eye tracking to reduce how hard the PlayStation needs to work to run a game by greatly reducing the image quality in the peripheral vision, so outside the zone you are actually looking at. The only thing we don't know is if it's going to be dynamic or fixed foveated rendering, so if it moves around or not. That's something that hasn't been confirmed just yet. What we do know is that the eye tracking on the PSVR2 will truly push VR gaming to the next level, as it can use the motion of your eyes to detect where you look, so it can make things in VR much more interactive. It can, for example, make characters respond to you in a more realistic way as you make eye contact, or only trigger certain events when you are looking in a specific direction. There is so much you can do with eye tracking, and I'm sure that games will come to life on a more personal level and might solve the problem of players sometimes missing out on the action. I mean, I have many times before where I looked to the left, but then on the right something happened and then I missed out on it. So yeah, as I said, eye tracking can do a lot for the immersion. And talking about immersion, the new sensory features that Sony announced mean that the headset has a tactile motor built inside that reacts to what happens in-game. You will literally feel vibrations when objects rush by, or the thrust of a vehicle when you start speeding up. This in combination with 3D audio will be truly eargasmic. Surprisingly enough, it doesn't come with inbuilt speakers. Maybe because Sony believes their Pulse headphones are the better option here, or they have custom earpieces in the works that can be attached to the head strap, so they can sell that for an extra additional price. A few other things that PSVR2 uses is an inbuilt microphone, supports Bluetooth, so that might explain the missing earphones, and has an adjustable IPD, with the numbers sadly not being published. But I'm sure they want to go for a big range because kids to adults are all going to play with this. Next to that, one of the bigger upgrades is that you don't need a PlayStation Move camera anymore. Thank God, because that was the only thing that drove me insane. The drifting Move controllers and the fact you had to face forward to stay tracked was annoying me, and it was the one thing that you always had to think about while playing a game, so it kind of took you out of the immersion. But that has been finally solved. It's going to use inside-out tracking, so you can freely turn and move around without the need of anything external. Well, the only thing that is external is the single USB-C cable that has to be plugged into the PlayStation 5. Making the PSVR2 a wired experience for now. With the Quest 2's success, you could call Sony's decision to not make it wireless a stupid one. But honestly, I don't see the problem here, as both these devices serve different audiences and purposes. The Quest is a standalone, while the PSVR2 uses the power of the console to make the magic happen. Think about it this way, these are two genres, with on one side the Quest being the headset that has been built from the ground up to be a headset that can be used from wherever you want, so you can take it with you on the move or just play from home. Well, the PlayStation VR, is purely a home entertainment system. Almost every product that PlayStation has made was designed that way, except for the PSP of course, so it does make sense where they are coming from. Plus, most of the experiences we have seen so far were seated ones, with a couple of standing games here and there, but I do think that is going to balance out now with the inside-out tracking. So I totally understand why they are going for this and not for wireless straight away. Most VR enthusiasts who do make a big deal out of this have gotten so used to the Quest that they find it hard to buy a system that for them feels like a step back. And the same can be said for a small group of PC VR users who own a wireless adapter. I partly understand where they are coming from, but I honestly don't think this will be a huge deal breaker for the majority of consumers who are looking to buy their very first VR headset. They simply don't know what they're missing, and chances are that for them, the games that they can play on the device are far more important than the overall specs. From my own experience, I can say that at times the games on the original PSVR were so epic and so immersive that I totally forgot about the cables in the first place. And going from multiple wires in a converter box to just one single USB-C cable that does plug and play is a huge improvement in my eyes and will not stand in the way of its sales. Lastly, we shouldn't rule out that the PSVR2 gets a wireless solution in the future. We don't know, but what I do know is that the Quest also didn't stream games to PC on launch, so they might be working on it but aren't ready to show it off yet. So overall, I am very happy with the announced specs, and it's clear that the PSVR2 will be for the gamers. What does stand in the way though is availability, price, and most importantly, which headset has the best games. Sony and Meta are both big players in the VR industry with an overlapping interest in the gaming market, with, yes, the Quest slowly shifting away from that and going more towards social, fitness and remote working. But that doesn't change the fact that currently Meta's core audience are still gamers. Their recent port of Resident Evil 4 VR was a huge hit, and with upcoming releases like GTA San Andreas, Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell VR, they do have a lot of eyes on them. But will that be enough to compete with Sony? Meta seems to be betting on ports, while Sony tries to explore the realm of hybrid titles. The combination of ports or hybrids mixed with a baseline of indie devs and bigger investments into AAA studios will point out who's the winner here. One thing that should not be underestimated is that Sony has the household name of the two, due to their strong international marketing that reaches far from the States to Europe and to Asia. Everyone knows PlayStation. This is not the same story for Oculus/Quest because Meta is more focused on the American and Japanese audience, leaving out a lot of other countries. They did here and there start to win some ground with the name Oculus, but recently decided to throw that name out of the window by changing it to Meta. So the timing might have not been the best. We'll see how this plays out in the long run. What I do know is that we desperately needed someone like Sony to shake up the gaming market. The competition that will be ignited between these two mega corporations wanting to win over gamers will definitely be good for the ecosystem and maybe, just maybe, draws in even more companies such as Xbox to join the future of gaming. I'm talking to you, Phil, so all we are waiting for now is price and date. We know that the PSVR2s are soon going in production, despite being in the middle of a pandemic. I honestly don't know how they are going to do this, maybe with some fairy dust, but if I had to make a wild guess on when the PSVR2 might launch, it could be that it's going to be in October this year, because that was also the original date when the first PlayStation VR came out, and it's close to the holidays. But it could also be completely different and they're going for the year after. We simply don't know, but feel free to drop a comment and yeah, make a guess on how much you think it will cost, when it's going to come out, and also what games you would like to see on this PSVR2 headset. So yeah, that's the video in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm freaking excited. I'm so hyped. This is what we have been waiting for, and yeah, I'll keep you updated when there is more to share. So until next time, bye bye, and see you in the metaverse, the one that is owned by us all.